Hey buddy, I'm loving our new chairs. Very us.
Yes, I think it's only fitting that we should have supervisor chairs. Great for keeping an eye on Mum and Dad.
Maybe we can also get caps and t-shirts just to complete the look, as long as we're not paying.
And maybe a pen or a badge, just so everyone knows who's really in charge.
Okay, maybe we should step in here. Basically, Mum and Dad have decided to build a roof frame rather than purchase a roof rack.
Yes, Unistrut rails should be plenty strong enough to hold the solar panels, roof lights and CCTV cameras.
Yes, it allows them to build the frame they need, rather than work around the constraints of a pre-built roof rack.
Not to mention, they should save a few £100 also, not to be sniffed at.
I see that Dad has now started to paint the rails. Customary black, of course.
Yes, most things look better in black. At least it hides a lot of sin.
That's certainly the case with you. I only have to look at a puddle and I'm thrown in the bath.
I can live with that. The problem is, if you look dirty, we both end up in the bath.
Well, today our humans start working on the van and not in the van.
Oh dear, should we be worried? You know what Dad's like.
Yes, with his dodgy knees and absolutely no head for heights. This could be interesting.
Just as long as he doesn't fall off. It takes forever these days when they go to A and E.
After removing the factory seals on the van, will the new roof rail anchor points be watertight?
Well, Dad did try something a little different. He has used hard rubber spacers along with the special sealant adhesive to seal the holes.
I guess time will tell if this is the way to go. Fingers crossed, old man.
With the unusually nice weather, we may have to wait.
So today we thought went pretty well. It started off very well actually. The Unistrut is really robust. It did have a few nuances about it, but all in all we were pretty pleased with the way it went on. Various industrial websites for all kinds of products, and I saw some really thick rubber spacers which would fit M8 bolts down the middle. And these were very substantial, so these were like 50mm wide, 50mm deep. Just raised it enough to cover the crown of the roof. Perfect. What could go wrong? Yes. So that's what I used, and just to make doubly sure, I put a tiny bit, not a great deal anyhow, of sealant adhesive, special sealant adhesive to go between the rubber spacer and the roof. And then we would fit the Unistrut on that. So the Unistrut itself has lots of great things about it, but anybody who's tried to put this on a transit van, and I think other vans are probably the same, will be aware that even though it's spaced out every couple of inches, the slots in there, and there's probably, I don't know, 2-3 dozen slots in a piece of Unistrut, trying to line it up with the 4 anchor points on the side of the van turned out to be impossible. We could be in the extreme right of one slot, further up the van would be in the extreme left of the slots, trying to put the bolts in, and then either position 3 or 4 would not be lining up at all with one of the holes. So we ended up having to drill separate holes in the Unistrut, additional holes, and obviously treat those just so we could line up nicely with the pre-positioned holes, and in theory you should be able to screw straight into it. The reality was manufacturing quality might not be as great as we'd like sometimes on the vans. The seals were in the right place, the bolts were in the right place. Sometimes the holes were a couple of millimetres this way or that way, so we couldn't just drop a bolt straight into the pre-welded M8 nut. So we had to get the spacer bit onto the drill then and make the hole a little wider just so we could access straight down in those. But I think that's a problem lots of people have had. I've seen other people have the same issue. So I was kind of expecting it, although probably hoping it would, several times actually. Prep them, clean them, sprayed them with Hammerite-like paints, Rust-Oleum, put some plastic end caps into the Unistrut just to finish it off and make it look a little better. They went on okay. It took a little longer than I was anticipating.
I think this roof thingamajig is going to hold the solar panels and a few other bits.
Will it be strong enough to hold the solar panels and the other stuff?
Yes, it should be. It will be fastened on with 8 M8 bolts, so a little sturdier than a couple of self-tapping screws and a dollop of Sikaflex.
That actually makes sense. Perhaps there is hope for Dad after all.
So now I need to tell you about something which didn't go so great. I didn't film any of this, but I can tell you about it. I hope that somebody learns something from my experience and my mistakes. As it turns out, I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. It was a disaster, and I was really doubting if I could ever do this. Even though this was a glorious day when we fitted it, only a couple of days later the weather checked torrential rain, standard fur for anywhere in England, especially in the north. And we just went out to the van to look at something, opened the door, and I realised there's what seemed to be very small patches of like water and drips coming down the side of the van on the inside. I wasn't quite sure where this was coming from. More drips, more little marks, more evidence of the water. All 8 anchor points. I had completely missed. I couldn't have made more mistake if I tried. And I was really, I thought I'd done well. I thought the rubber bonds would be, really secure against it and make a nice watertight seal. As it turned out, it was those very bonds that was the issue. As I was compressing the rubber spacers with the M8 bolts, and I'm trying to kind of guess how tight I'd want it, probably did over tighten slightly. The rubber spacers had deformed, and instead of being nice and flat, it started to actually curve up, and in the process they pulled the adhesive up with them, pulled the sealant, and just created little openings, little channels for water ingress. So although there wasn't a lot coming in, the fact is it was still, I'll be honest, I felt terrible at this point. I felt, oh my god, what am I doing? What have I done? What an absolute idiot. But once I'd stopped feeling sorry for myself, it took a while. I just thought, right, okay, so I'll just go back to doing what other people have done. Stop trying to be too creative. Just replace the rubber spacers with nylon spacers, same dimensions, obviously much more robust and less likely to warp under pressure. Don't get cute with adhesive and the sealant, just put it on, put a liberal amount of Sikaflex all under it, round it, over it. It's just everywhere. It went from looking very neat and not waterproof at all, so the end job was less aesthetically pleasing. But I'm pleased to report Not one single drop of water has come in since then. I really should have filmed this. I should have took some photos. It would have been useful. I'll be honest, at that point I wasn't feeling like grabbing the camera. I wasn't feeling like doing anything. I was just so pissed off with it. If you're trying to do something which you've never seen anybody else do, there's probably a reason for that. Either number one, you're an absolute genius. And why has no one else thought of that? That was what I thought. Or number two, you're an absolute idiot. There's a reason you've not seen everyone. And it was that. Quite a bad mistake. And recovered, because I think it's put me in good stead for the other mistakes I've probably made since then.
Hey Dad, don't beat yourself up. Everyone makes mistakes.
That's right. Remember, you are still learning. The roads to success are paved with failures.
You know what, Buddy? Maybe we need to take Mum and Dad for a long walk later to take their mind off the van for a while.
That is a great idea, Sebastian. Although, not the beach, please. I can't be bothered with a bath today.
What a lovely day, Buddy. We do live in a nice part of the world.
Yes, there is something quite relaxing about a sunny day in the sticks.
Well, I must say, it actually looks like Mum and Dad have done okay with the roof rails. It looks straight and sturdy.
Yes, it's all one step closer to actually getting to enjoy the van. Can't wait.
And Dad got to play with the drone for a few minutes. He does love a gadget.
Boys and their toys. You just know Mum will be making a mental note for future retail therapy.
Hey guys, if you liked today's video, please do like and subscribe.
Yes, it means a lot to Mum and Dad. Plus, you'll get to see more of us.
Thanks again for watching. Woof woof.
See you all next time. Woof woof.